Alright, hello and welcome to the superposition lecture. This first picture that we're looking at here is just a general idea of what superposition is. Alright, so obviously this is a layer of the earth, and up here is where the current crust is. So this is where we would have our houses with our windows, and our trees and that sort of stuff. This would all be up here. And this is simply telling you that the further down you go into the Earth, the older the layers get. So the stuff that's up here near the top, this was laid down most recently. It's the recent beach sand. And then the stuff that would be just slightly below that, underneath that would be a little bit older rock. And the stuff before that is older still, all the way down to the bottom. Right, so we know that as a lake is here, we know that the dirt and the sediment slowly fills in to the bottom of the lake, building it up layer by layer by layer by layer from the bottom up to the top, which means obviously that this stuff on the bottom has to be older than this stuff on the top. And so it is with the Earth as well, and that's what superposition tells us, the general theory anyway. Alright, so this is a picture of the Grand Canyon, and as you can see here in the middle, this is the Colorado River, and so at one point this whole entire square would have been solid rock. It would have been all rock, and over time the Colorado River has started up at the top here, and it's slowly eaten away the rock and eroded it away and carried away the sediments until this is its current position down here. Well, what this has done for us is it's allowed us to look at the rock and to see all of these layers that occur in here and how big they are. And what we noticed when we looked at this is that these layers were congruous all the way through the eroded section by the Colorado River. So the tan section on the left matched up with the tan section on the right, and the green, red, and so on and so forth. And so we came up with the idea that this was all one giant block, and the Colorado River must have somehow eaten through it. And we also hypothesized that the river must have started up top, and then it slowly worked its way down through the rock as it made its way, which also led us to hypothesize that the rock down here at the bottom must be significantly older than the rock at the top. And we can see when we look at the numbers over here on the side that you've got 600 plus million-year-old rocks near the bottom, and you've only got 270 million-year-old rocks up at the top. So there's a really big gap in time there, right? Again, older stuff on the bottom, younger stuff on the top. And we do have a word for something that causes the layers to not be put down in a straight line. As you can see here, these guys are on an angle, right? Some of these layers of rock. And anytime you get something that causes the layers to not be put down in a straight line, it's called an unconformity. An unconformity can also be a gap in the rock record. The rock may have been eroded away, or maybe you had some sort of geologic event that took a big chunk out of it all at one time, or something like that. And anytime you're missing a section of rock, or it's not perfectly level or something like that, we do call it an unconformity. And these kind of give us an idea of when something interesting happened to the rock. So this is the last slide, and there's nothing really new here. I just wanted to include this though, so next time maybe you were driving along, you saw something like this, and you might think it was interesting. So you can see that they have a hill, and they tunneled out the hill to make the roadway. And so obviously you've got some rock down here near the bottom that's going to be really old, and it's going to be layered and layered and layered and layered on top until you get up to here, and you're going to have the rock up top that's really quite young. This was the stuff that was laid down most recently, and they had to go through all of these layers to get there, to build the road. Sometimes you'll see stuff like this, and you'll see really cool little like bumps and things like this, and you can see that there was some sort of geologic event that happened and actually caused some of the rock to buckle up and do really cool things like this. And maybe sometimes you'll see big unconformities, or you'll see angles and that sort of thing. So next time you're driving along and you happen to see a mountainous region like this and they carved it out, take a look. Maybe you'll find something interesting.